Study less and score higher. This presentation is aimed at CIMA students and brought to you by IBTC, South Africa's leading provider of professional business education. You could improve your pass rate. This presentation will deal with improving your pass rate. We will look at the dreaded ICSs, and we will do some live demonstrations on how to book your exam. But let's start by improving your pass rate. With the right study technique, you can learn more and score higher in less time with less effort. Let me show you how in 5 easy steps. The first and most important step is to preview. The worst thing you can do is to open your textbook and start studying from page 1, chapter 1. Don't start studying. Start by reading through the chapter, trying to get behind what it is that they are trying to tell you and explain to you. Do not try to commit to memory. I often say the first read should even be without your pencil. Just read through the material, like watching a movie. Identify the key circles and the concepts if you want to on the first read. On your second read, you can then start doing a mind map. A mind map organizes a lot of information into a picture. This helps you to commit to long-term memory, and it helps with understanding because it's easier for the brain to remember a picture than it is to remember a whole lot of information. Now you are ready to participate. You are now ready to come to lectures or to do online lectures. When you have done the pre-reading, you already know what it's going to be about. You don't just have to vigorously take notes. They say that when you walk in cold, that everything is foreign and you'll only really understand 10%. But if you've done the pre-reading, you can increase that to 20%. So you sit in class, you really know what's going on, you can take it all in, and while you're sitting there, you can update your mind map. Now you are ready to process all that information. You are now ready to study. Now you can open your textbook and start studying and update your mind map while you do that. You're busy processing everything while the 20% is still active in your mind. It's still very important not to just try and memorize for regurgitation, but to understand the concepts, because you will be required to apply them in the exam. Then you need to sleep on it. You need to leave plenty of time between studying and plenty of time between studying and testing. In fact, that's so important, I've got an own slide for it. So sleep on it. You can imagine the difference between somebody studying a subject for 48 hours over a period of 12 weeks or taking a week off work the week before the exam and cramming in 48 hours prior to the exam. You can imagine the difference in how that information remains in the brain. The next step is to practice. It's probably never been more pertinent to a qualification than it is to CIMA, to practice, practice, practice. You need to do a lot of question practice. It sounds obvious, but it's probably the most important advice I can give you. It's literally the difference between passing and failing. It all comes down to exam technique and not really technical knowledge. So the rule at IBTC is you must always do all the questions in your OTQ kit. Then you have to go and do the practice exam or a past exam paper if possible. You literally have to practice a lot of questions because you need to learn how to handle tricky questions quickly. Then the key is to test yourself on a full mock exam, and if you can achieve 70% in your mock exam, you are ready for the real exam. So, to pass your CIMA exams, you're going to need to know the theory very well, on the one hand, and be able to deal with a number of questions quickly, which you get through practicing. IBTC can help you with the theory through intensive revision weekends, and we can help you with the exam practice in our exam prep classes where we literally pepper you with questions. Now you are ready to produce in the exams. The exams are very time pressured, so you have to exercise good time management, but luckily you've practiced that. For your ICS, we'd say don't underestimate the integration of all 3 subjects. Learn how to apply key models to the case beforehand. You know the models, you have the case, you can practice it beforehand. And then use a mind map and plan your answer in the exam. For your OT exams, pick the easy questions first. Flag and skip the questions that take a lot of reading time. Flag and skip the questions where the requirement is to select all that apply. So pick the easy questions first. If you feel you start to panic, slow down and read the questions carefully. And then never leave a question unanswered. Guess, you might get lucky. Our feeling is if you do these things well, you have a good chance of passing your exam. So this is a quick overview of the 5 steps. Very important, pre-read for understanding. Then participate in class and update your mind map. Now you are ready to study, and then practice, practice, practice so that you can produce in the exam. Okay, a couple of slides on ICS demystified. We've had a couple of ICS sittings now, and we have looked at the examiners' reports and feedback from our own students. And examiners have reported that they've seen poor industry knowledge, poor pre-scene analysis, a lack of understanding of the theory, and that people don't apply the theory to the scenario. And this is probably the most critical point. The ICS skills or marking scheme, the examiners ask you to demonstrate that you can apply 4 skills in a business context. The requirement is not so much the technical skill only, because that has already been tested in the OT. They are looking for an integration of people skills, business skills, and leadership skills. How the results work, you will get a pass or a fail grade, and you will also get a scaled score out of 150. You get the scaled score, but you also need to pass all 4 competencies with a moderate grade. So then you get an indication of your performance against each competency, a fail, a moderate, or a strong. So we've had students who achieved 80 out of 150, which technically should be a pass, but they've only passed 3 out of the 4 competencies, and therefore they have failed. What examiners are looking for is a good balance of ability across the competencies. The study resources that are available is the ICS workbook and an ICS toolkit. The difference will be explained shortly. There are mock exams, there are exam prep classes you can go to, there are revision classes you can go to, and there are exam prep online classes you can go to. We recommend that you make use of as much resources as possible. The difference between the workbook and the toolkit and the validity explained. The workbook explains how to integrate knowledge and skills, and it's got example questions, answers, and tips, but it's basically a platform to practice the integration of your knowledge and skills, which you've now seen the examiner say is so important. And it is typically valid for 2 exam sittings because the workbook has got nothing to do with the case study. The toolkit typically comes out a bit later because they need time to prepare it based on the case study. It's valid for 1 sitting only. It always contains the pre-scene, the case study, an analysis, and a mock exam. If you understand your role in the case study exam, you will be better equipped at answering the question accurately. At operational level, your role is of a finance officer, and you will see that there is a lesser requirement to display leadership and people skills. At management level, your role will be that of a manager, possibly a senior manager, a CFO, FD, and there's a more balanced requirement across the 4 skills. And at strategic level, you are a senior manager, probably at board level, part of the senior management team, and there's a balanced requirement of the technical skills, business skills, people skills, and leadership skills. Our top tip to prepare for the ICS exams or to be successful in the ICS exams is to practice answer planning. The examiners indicated that people are too eager to get started, and seen that the less planning people do, the lower the mark is. Remember that technique, which is speaks to the answer planning, has got a higher requirement because the theory has already been tested in the OT. How can IBTC help? What are your options? To cover the theory, to boost your theory knowledge, you can come to an intensive revision weekend class. To help you with case study analysis and answer planning, you can come to exam prep. You can do that online, you can come to classes, or you can sign up for our home study. We recommend the ICS exam prep classes, where you will get the workbook, the toolkit, revision note, and 2 mock exams. The aim of the ICS exam prep classes, we will cover the theory quickly, the key models. We will do the case study analysis, some answer technique, and a lot of mock exam practice. For this purpose today, we will not do the live demonstrations. We will, however, show you how to book an exam because it's what a lot of students are battling with. The exams are booked on your CIMA account. Go to CIMA account. You will be redirected to a Pearson VUE site where you schedule your exam. The nearest Pearson VUE center will come up. If you're looking for a specific college, you can type in their address. You can then pay for your exam with a credit card, or maybe you have already added it to your IBTC fee, in which case we would have paid it over and it would be lying as a credit on your account. These are the exam booking cutoff dates for 2015 and the exam date for 2015. Remember, the OT exams are on demand and can be done at any time. IBTC has 2 exam centers where we only do CIMA exams, the Sandton campus and the Cape Town campus, and we offer a 20% discount on all exams booked via the IBTC website. And as I said, there will be no online classes demo as part of this presentation. Should you have any queries, feel free to contact one of our consultants or drop us an email.